What is the truth about tithing? According to the Christian Bible, tithing was part of the requirements of the Covenant of Sinai and operated on a 3-year repeating cycle. The following explanation can be found in Deuteronomy chapter 14, verses 22 to 29. The tithe related specifically to agricultural harvests in Israel and represented 10% of the total yield in a season for each type of crop. In the first 2 years of the cycle, the tithe was stored in a local storehouse and then taken to the tabernacle or temple during the pilgrimage festivals and eaten by the family which had set it aside. In the 3rd year, the entirety of the tithe was to be given to the priests, the widows, the immigrants, and the orphans in their communities. After 2 of these 3-year cycles, the Israelites were not to sow or reap in the 7th year, which was considered the Sabbath year. Then, after 7 of those 7-year cycles, Israel was to celebrate the year of Jubilee in the 50th year. Under the Covenant of Sinai, laborers did not tithe, widows and orphans did not tithe, and non-landowning immigrants did not tithe. The tithe was specifically relegated to landowners who planted and harvested crops. So when God told the Israelites in Malachi chapter 3, verse 10, "Bring the full tithe into the storehouse so that there may be food in my house, and thus put me to the test, says the Lord of hosts. See if I will not open the windows of heaven for you and pour down for you an overflowing blessing." God was telling the Israelites not to forsake the 3rd year tithe, which was to be given to the priests, the widows, the orphans, and the immigrants in their land. This passage has nothing to do with the contemporary Christian understanding of tithing, which has no foundation whatsoever in the Christian scriptures. Nowhere in the New Testament is the setting aside of 10% of all of a person's increase and delivering it to Christian institutions commanded or even discussed. Generosity and giving is, of course, commended in the New Testament, as is the caring for widows and orphans and the paying of those who give their full attention to preaching and teaching the Scriptures. But in none of those passages is a tithe commanded or even suggested. Given this, should we give 10% of our increase to Christian institutions? Those who lead Christian institutions presume to sit in the seat of Moses and of the apostles. That is, they govern a given Christian community. If they require 10% of all increase, then we should submit. As Jesus said to his disciples in a teaching preserved in the Gospel according to St. Matthew chapter 23, verses 1 through 3. Then Jesus said to the crowds and to his disciples, "The scribes and the Pharisees sit on Moses' seat. Therefore do whatever they teach you and follow it, but do not do as they do, for they do not practice what they teach." However, for all those who have sat in positions of authority and have misled God's people as to what the tithe is and how God intended it to operate, be warned. Judgment is coming from on high, for God considers these distorted teachings both as blasphemous and as the fleecing of his flock.